This interview is brought to you by Dead Man Works Tattoos and Body Piercing in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. Make sure you give the dead man a jingle dingle the next time you want a skin doodle did. Hello world and welcome to the Fonz's office. Today I am here with a bare fist fighter. He is the gangster Prince of Wales, David. One more round. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Jeff. Good to be speaking to you again.
Awesome. Very good to be speaking to you as well. Your last time that we spoke, you came off a big knockout victory over Mickey Bourne. You entered into the ring afterwards, after the end of the event. You basically called out everybody, including the owner of the company. The man that the fight is going to stick with is the man who was the British Cruiserweight champion. He won it that night, Dan McGraffin.
Yeah.
Fighting him, but you're not fighting for his belt. You guys are fighting for the European Championship.
Yeah, they've put it as a European belt. I thought we were going to fight for the British. My plan was to win that, then defend it, then fight for the European, win that, defend it, then the world. But they chuck it straight in as a European, so I can't complain with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good how that worked out. My understanding is that Henry has vacated the belt, so it will be available and that he will be fighting for a world title.
Yeah, I think Henry broke his hand, so he was due to fight on this show for the world, but he's vacated his European to let us fight for it. And then I think he's fighting in February.
I believe it's
and
February.
I'll fight the winner of that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool how that all worked out and transpired. Now you guys are, in a sense, moving up one level for the European Championship.
And hats off to him for taking, for vacating the belt.
Correct. How have you been doing with your training? What have you been doing to prepare for a guy like Dan McGraffin?
Just the same as the last time, playing rugby and drinking Guinness.
That's a good combination in its own, isn't it?
Yeah, just get the iron in from the Guinness, make your hands hard.
Yeah. So your guys' fight is coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
How are you doing with your weight right now? What are you doing for a weight cut?
I'm because I'm away a lot with my lorries and not eating massive meals all the time, so my weight has come down pretty tidy. I'm pretty much I'm on weight, or if not, I'm going to be weighing in under, like I did for the last one. I weighed in under.
Correct, you did. Wow, that's impressive, man. And that must make fight week a little bit easier for you, knowing that you don't have to have that big weight cut to come off.
Yeah, I mean, I can eat all week. I can eat the morning of the weigh-in and right up until I weigh in, and still probably be a kilo or so under.
Beautiful.
Which does take off a lot from fight week. If you haven't got the weight cut to worry about, you've just got the fight to concentrate on.
Right. With coming off your big knockout over Mickey Bourne, was it known right away that McGraffin was going to be your next opponent? I know we had spoke about it a little bit, and that was the perception that was going to happen. But were there a couple other names that were thrown out there to you as well?
No. There was no names thrown out after I knocked out Mickey. Nothing was actually said, and it wasn't until I spoke to Dan before his fight, wished him luck. I didn't realize he was fighting the same weight as me, and it wasn't until after he won that I thought, well, that's the perfect fight to make, isn't it? So that's why I called him out. I mean, Andrew didn't know about. Nobody knew I was going to jump in there. That
was all unscripted and
yeah. I want this, and as Andrew had the belt in his hand, I said, I want that fight. And Ian Freeman actually seen me standing at the ringside saying, I want him, and it was Ian who called me in.
Beautiful. Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a memorable moment. Yeah. That's for sure. What do you have?
Definitely.
What do you have in store for us this weekend? You looking for a big knockout? Are you looking to take him the distance? What kind of fight are you looking to press?
I want to fight. I want a round or two fight and then stop him. But if I catch him early and I knock him out, I'm not gonna complain for that. I would like to have a bit of a scrap this time and get a few minutes in.
Yeah, definitely, right? With the last fight coming within the first minute of the first round. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now
I caught him at 30 seconds, so with the 10 count, it was 40. But I know he caught me twice, but it wasn't a fight that I wanted. So I'm hoping now Saturday me and Dan can have a bit of a tear up for a few minutes.
excellent. When I had spoke with him, I believe that's kind of the same mindset that he has. That interview will be posted the same time that I post your interview, so that the two of yours can come out, get a little bit of the promotion for this European Cruiserweight Championship fight. You guys are slotted in the co-main event, is that correct?
Main event, we are.
Main event?
Yeah,
okay.
We are the main event.
I thought that it was deserving of the main event, but I heard some grumblings earlier today that it was co-main, and I wasn't certain if I had misunderstood the first time or not. So it is the main event. Now, last time the pay-per-view was on the BKTV app. This time they're going with a different approach. They're going with Slipstream. Have you heard anything about how they're going to be filming this event? Because my understanding is it's not going to be a typical bare knuckle event. There's going to be some cinematics kind of thrown in with the filming.
No, I've not got a clue how they're going to film. I know we're fighting in a TV studio with I think it's 50 crowd. I think he had a couple of problems with the venues allowing a bare knuckle fight or a bare knuckle night. So he's gone for his TV studio, and obviously we're live thing with a pay-per-view and a minimum crowd. I think it's 50 to 100 that he's managed to get there. As I said, with the filming side, I have no idea what he's going to do with it. Yeah,
okay, I understand that. You're a fighter, you're not on the production crew and whatnot. I've heard a couple of things in the behind the scenes here that they're going to be looking at making it kind of like Snatch. It'll be a more of an underground kind of style to it, but with some cinematics, with some camera angles and whatnot that they're going to do. So it for the fans, it's going to be a more visually appealing experience is what my understanding is that they're going for. So
well, if that's the idea they've got, Bakewell is pretty good with his with the ideas he comes up with, so I can imagine it's going to be a hell of a show. If that's how they're going to.
They've they're doing some improvements. They've added some more people to the team and whatnot, and there's some exciting things in 2022 for Bare Fist Boxing Association.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, they're growing, and they're growing in the right way, because they started off with small hotels and just putting the show. They haven't gone for a big arena straight off,
right?
Which they can lose money on. They're doing, they're building up to it, which I think is brilliant how they're doing it.
Yeah, I agree as well. 2022, the plans for yourself with the company. You're planning on winning this weekend and becoming the European Cruiserweight champion. I don't want you to be necessarily looking past that bout, but what do you foresee for 2022 for the Gangster Prince of Wales?
So obviously win Saturday, have Christmas off. I spoke with Nick Chapman, who's running the Thailand BKFC. I've also spoke with Andrew Bakewell about allowing me to fight over there at the start of next year, which I hope is going to happen. And then obviously with the BFBA side, I'll be defending my title whenever they ask me to.
Beautiful. Yeah, my understanding is that Thailand card is starting to. They've got 2 events in the works. The first one is coming up in next weekend, possibly. That's this month. And then there's another one that's going to be in 2022 as well. So you're looking at the fight card for 2022.
Unless they need me next weekend, then they can fly me out.
Attaboy, man, that's right, eh?
Hey, Jake Paul's looking for an opponent as well. So after I get rid of Dan on the weekend, I can fly out and fight Jake Paul.
Good fight. That is a matchup that I actually played around with in my mind before as well, yourself and Jake Paul. And that actually, you guys size up comparatively against one another. You'd obviously kick his ass and give him the ass kicking that he deserves. But what if something like that were to come about, would you be open to it as a boxing bout, like glove boxing?
I'd take it as a glove boxing bout, no problem. Whatever style you wanted to do, but yeah, I would definitely be up. I'd be up for flying out and fighting Jake Paul anytime.
It would be a very entertaining bout for the first 30 or 40 seconds or so, I would say. Then he wouldn't have much chance after that.
No, I think I'd make a show of it, drag him into the third or the fourth, and then put him away.
Give the fans their money's worth.
Well, yeah, give the MMA and the MMA community what they need to see is Jake Paul get a fucking hiding.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that kind of thing with this YouTubers and TikTokers and social influencers coming into the sport of boxing and essentially getting a fairly large following, a fairly large new following from the combat sports world?
I do. I agree with what they're doing. I think it's brilliant. It is bringing more fans to the sport, and it's bringing more money into it as well. Whether you can call them legit fighters, that's hard to say. But they're fighting and Jake Paul is winning. He beat Tyron Woodley, knocked out Ben Askren. He is winning fights against legit fighters. Whether those fighters are taking dives or they're taking a paycheck, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I think it is good what he's doing, but he also needs to be fucking stopped as well soon.
Yeah, he needs to be humbled a little bit, I believe. But I agree with you. There is for the sport of boxing itself, it's bringing in a lot more fans to it at a time when boxing was kind of leveling off again. So it's now put that extra oomph in it, and it is bringing a new crowd to view the events. What with bare knuckle boxing, we've seen it in the BKFC organization. They did that a couple events ago. They brought some TikTokers and YouTubers in. It seemed to have worked well for them, but we're not seeing that very much from other organizations. Are you more on the lines of the real fighters fight and let the TikTokers do their thing, or would you get caught up in that depending on what the paychecks were?
I'd fight Jake Paul for nothing. I'd fight Jake Paul for the flights and the hotel.
Beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's brilliant. If you bring them in and they fight each other, yeah, I can understand it. It's going to bring a lot more fans to the sport. Having them fighting legit fighters is, unless I can't think any differently other than the legit fighters that are losing are getting paid to fucking lose.
Yeah, well, in Jake Paul's defense, if it is defense, he has essentially been fighting against wrestler-styled fighters so far. He's going to have the rematch with Tyron Woodley. Woodley is he's definitely a striker, and he's now agreed to the fight. So it's going to be Paul versus Tyron Woodley. What do you see for that fight coming up? You think Woodley's going to even the score?
I hope he did. I hope Woodley caught him, and I think he could have stopped him in that last fight, and he didn't. He held back, and whether, like I said, I think Woodley and all are being paid to either not finish Jake Paul or to take the loss. And Woodley should have stopped him. Should have stopped him when he caught him, and he could have carried on, but he didn't. And in my head is they are paying him off, or there's a contract saying that he can't knock him out. Right.
Which is potential in there too. There could be a no knockout clause in the bout agreement.
Yeah. Which is not fighting. That's exhibition stuff.
That's exhibition. That's my opinion on that as well.
Yeah.
So with your fight coming up this weekend, you've had some training obviously going on. Who are some of the people that are going to be in your corner for this fight?
The two main guys again, Sam Clark and Adam Greener.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Sam's been with me for the last 10 years, and Greener's been there now for the last 2 years. And both brilliant cornermen. And then obviously my wife will be up there with me as well.
Excellent. Very wonderful that she'll be there as well. You and Dan had a little bit of beefing going on online a little while ago. It kind of seemed to have teetered off a bit. What do you have any final words for Dan for when he watches this interview before you meet him inside the squared circle?
We were going to try and go at it on Facebook, but I've got nothing really bad to say about him. I haven't. He's a stand-up guy, and as much as I've tried to do the beef on Facebook like I used to, I just couldn't with Dan because he's a generally tidy guy. So no, I've got nothing bad to say about the guy. I'm looking forward to the fight. I hope he comes and bites down his gumshoe and fucking swings, and one of us will knock each other out. And we put a show on, and we put the fight on a week, and then afterwards I'll do what I always do. I'll have a beer with him, and I'll speak to him again. He's like I said, he's a great guy.
Beautiful. That's wonderful to see, and that's one of the things that I really respect about the bare knuckle community. After the bouts, it usually does come that way. The respect is gained and earned, and you sit down, have a beer with one another, and talk about who you're going to beat up next. After I beat Dan, if he wants a rematch, I'm sure we can work that in as well. I think he'll deserve it. But if not, I think it's they're looking at a German guy for me to defend it against next year. Very nice, very nice. Do you have any sponsors that you'd like to mention at this point?
Support 81. They always see me. Lloyd and Paulette, Horizon. They do all my print work. Executive Man, Greener's Grotto. Who else have we got going? Beer Hug Support. They're saving my rugby career, my squatting career. That's about it for the minute.
Beautiful. How's your rugby team doing?
We're turning up every week and we're playing, but it's coming. We're not winning the games, but after every game, you can see that we're building on something. It will come. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing rugby again.
Yeah, wonderful. That's what it's all about as well. Enjoyment, spending your time, doing the things that you like to do while still looking after yourself at the same time.
Yeah, it keeps you fit. It gives something to do. It's fitness on a Saturday as well, and it's a good laugh. And they're a good bunch of boys down at Langamar FC. Beautiful.
Yeah, I played rugby back in my day as well. I loved the sport. It was a lot of fun, and the camaraderie that grew from the team. It was wonderful. So any of the kids that are out there looking at playing rugby, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you make teammates and friends that'll be with you for life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my friend, thank you for making the time today in your fight week. I know it's a busy week, and I really appreciate that you took a little bit of time out so that we could talk today.
Yes, no problem, Jeff. As I said, anytime you want to do an interview, and after the fight, I've got a package that I'm going to send out to you.
Wow, beautiful. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
That's no problem.
I look forward to talking to you after your fight as well.
Yeah, definitely, bro. We'll look at speaking next week after the fight.
That sounds great. All right, everybody, give it up for the gangsta Prince of Wales, David Round. He is fighting on December 11th. That's this weekend. And you guys can get the pay-per-view on the stream that is posted in the description of this interview. It'll be a direct link to David so that he gets credit for the pay-per-view buy. And we all get to enjoy one hell of a good fight card on December 11th with the Bare Fist Boxing Association. One more time, David Round. Thank you very much, my friend.
Hey, Jeff. Cheers.
I am Jeff the Superfan, and we are signing out from the Fawns is Off.